don't believe I have to say this, but do not use sandpaper to clean your eggs. Today, I'm exposing dangerous myths that I've seen on YouTube about having farm fresh eggs, as well as answering some common questions that we get when we give tours of the farm. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Judy, and I'm on a 90-day journey to post something of value every day. One of the first questions that we're usually asked is, why do we have eggs of different colors? And the answer is because they're really pretty. We purposely bought breeds of chickens that lay different colors. We had bought some locally, just brown layers, which are black stars. And then our neighbor, they lost most of their flock due to predators. So we got a white leghorn, which is your classic white kind of eggshell color. And we also got a golden laced Wyandotte, and we call her Brown Betty. She also is a brown eggshell layer. And then we purposely got Americanas because they lay blue colored eggs. And we got Easter eggers, which can sometimes be blue or green. Turns out all of ours were blue, a little sometimes blue-green. And my husband wanted the darkest egg you can get. So we got a black Moran, which lays a dark brown eggshell color. Just this year, our spring chickens that we got were olive eggers that are an olive colored shell. There is a myth that is out there that there are chickens that lay all black eggs, and you don't have to search far to find this, and it is an internet hoax. It is not true. There is a chicken called the Ayam Samani, and it is completely black, and I actually was interested in getting one. They used to be rare here in the US. They're from Indonesia, and they used to be very expensive, though because of the popular demand, a lot of people now have started to make them available, so they're not as expensive. But even though they're all black, they lay cream colored egg shells. So yeah, that's the darkest you can get, is a black Moran, which we do have. The next myth that I want to bust is that pink eggs can be possible based upon the food that you feed your chickens. My husband actually really wanted pink eggshells, and I really tried to find this. I did a lot of research, and one egg seller or chicken seller online told me that there are a couple breeds, and if we feed them a particular way, that'll influence the eggshell color. Though I researched this, and what I found out is that the diet does not have an impact. And what is an impact here is what is called the bloom. That with a brown eggshell color will give it this look of being pink or even lavender. So let's talk about the bloom and how you can properly store your farm eggs. That bloom, or it's called a cuticle, is a coating that is over the eggs. And you do not need to wash farm fresh eggs right away, and you can have them stored on your shelf. So we don't wash our own eggs until we're ready to use them. They can actually stay on the counter for 2 to 3 weeks. Once you wash them, that protective coating isn't there, and they would need to go into the refrigerator right away. Now, here's where I've seen a lot of incorrect information. People saying you can leave them on the shelf almost indefinitely, and also not taking into account you can only have them on the shelf if the temperature and the humidity are okay. You have to try to keep eggs around 60 degrees. And the other thing is, if it is really humid, that can be bad. So you don't want it to be too dry or too humid. You want them away from direct sunlight. One tip in storing the eggs is to store them with the pointy end down, and that prevents the air pocket that is in the egg from kind of expanding and drying out the egg. So this will allow your eggs to last longer and stay fresher. All right, so I do want to talk about some of the dangerous myths that I've seen. With the first one, as I mentioned, using sandpaper to get the dirt off of your eggs. That is a terrible idea. It can put even micro abrasions into the eggshell, allowing bacteria to get in, and that's just terrible. That's not good. Another thing I've seen is submerging the egg. You cannot submerge an egg in water when you're cleaning it. You use water to clean it, and it does need to be a warmer temperature than the egg. That way things are moving outward rather than sucking into the egg. So you do need to make sure you're using a hot water, basically. You need to be very careful. If there's any cracks in that egg, you do not want to use that egg. That wouldn't be healthy for you or your animals. Another thing, not maybe as dangerous unless people just assume it's the case. I saw one YouTube video, it's like very popular for egg care, and it said that in the United States that you're required to pasteurize eggs. That is not true. People could, that is not a requirement. So the danger there would be that people assume that they are pasteurized when they're not. And the best way to really keep your eggs from being like very dirty is to keep your nest boxes clean. So swapping out their bedding, for example. Another question that we're asked, do the different color eggs that we have taste different? I'm not a super taster. I really can't tell the difference. When I did research online for this, other people said they really can't tell a difference between the different colors of eggs. Where I do notice a difference is between our eggs and store-bought eggs. And you know, our chickens are free range. We give them a very good diet, which results in a deeper color yolk and a tastier egg. And lastly, a question that we'll get is, should I get chickens? And obviously that's going to be a personal decision. You want to be aware, first of all, if you do go this path, there is something called chicken math, just like there is with bicycles. We thought we were going to just stick with like 10, 12 chickens just for really our own use. And now we have 20 chickens. And it is really nice to have fresh eggs daily. There is some work involved. I've seen people online say, oh, 5 minutes a day. It is more than 5 minutes a day if you want your chickens to stay entertained and not start pecking at each other. You want to make sure they have enough space. The recommendation is 4 to 6 feet per chicken, though we allow our chickens to free range. That is something, though, we like to do supervised as much as possible. We do have a guard dog, but he's still a puppy. We do have hawks. I am working on making friends with the crows, so we have some more protection. We're trying to come up with more ideas to keep our chickens safe. Though you do need some space, obviously check with your municipality if you are able to have chickens. But it is, I'd say, about 10 minutes a day. You know, just making sure they have enough water, they have enough food, they have entertainment, and that you are, depending on how you have them set up, keeping things clean. And for us, that involves moving them across different areas. We don't have a chicken tractor, but we do have our coop set up that we can lift them up and move them more easily. There's side benefits from having chickens. We use our eggshells, for example. We grind them up and we use them in the garden. That helps with some pests. And also there's calcium in the eggshells. And soon, my son and I actually want to try doing some eggshell mosaic art, especially since we have the different color shells. So if this helped you, please leave a comment. And if you hit subscribe, I'll be sharing additional farm tips, tech insights, and life lessons. My big goal over this 90-day challenge is to share something every day of value. And I've fallen into a few pitfalls, so I want to help you to avoid those. So yeah, drop a comment. You know, what's the biggest myths you've heard about eggs? Did you learn something today? And hope to have you back here again.